G'day, this is Scott Pearce from ApprovIQ. This is the first time that we're posting anything to YouTube or making one of these videos, so we're excited to have you here and see where this goes. Bit of an adventure. Um, we're creating software for building surveyors, and as part of that, we've been out there talking to as many surveyors as we can. And one of the things that we believe that's going to make ApprovIQ different to a lot of the other products out there, software products that are designed for building surveyors, is that we have a customer first focus. So the reason that we're doing that is because I'm a building designer. I make buying decisions, send business to building surveyors, and the experience that I've been having so far is that I receive checklists from building surveyors, and then basically I go off and try to collect all those documents for the surveyors. Uh, and I email them, I send them via PDF. Sometimes we're uploading them to planning portals, depending where you are. Uh, and it's a bit of a mess. I'm constantly going back to the guys that I work with and asking, can I please have an updated checklist? Because I don't really know where we're at. Yes, you could say that I should probably keep better paper records, but it is true that if we could have a better way of working, if I came across a building surveyor that had a better way of working, then I know that I would work with that person. I know that that level of service would make me choose to continue to work with them. So what do I want? What do I want as a customer of building surveyors? I just want a simple place where we can work collaboratively. I want to be able to see an updated live checklist. I want to be able to share that with my clients so that they can be updated as to where the process is at. And so that's what we're going about creating here at ApprovIQ. Now, as part of that, we're doing research first and foremost. We're, as I said, having conversations with building surveyors. Firstly, to understand their business. Firstly, to understand what they're doing day to day, how they're assessing, how they're reviewing applications, so that we can build software that will automate a lot of that. Uh, but we're also asking them where do they see their business coming from, and so that's what we're going to reveal today is some of the initial results of that work. So we'll move straight into class 1 and 10. This is where a lot of the people that we're talking to, I'd say it's probably, well, it must be nearly 80% of the people that were, only 2 out of 10 people are working in a commercial space. And of course, there's a lot of companies out there that are doing all classes of work, but we've tried to divide the people that we've talked to. We feel like there's two sectors in the market, and that is people who do predominantly class 1 and 10, and then there are other companies that do predominantly class 2 through 9. And so that's the way that we've broken this down. What we can see here is that in the class 1 and 10 space, the majority of business is coming from builders. It's coming from architects and designers. And that tends to make sense. There's not a lot of developers in this space. Maybe you could talk about volume builders as developers, but I think in most of the conversations that we've had, they would be perceived to be builders. There's also a small amount of homeowners. Um, and the conversations that we've had with those building surveyors that are working directly with homeowners is that they can be a challenging client to work with, just because of the lack of knowledge really about the processes. And so I think that anyway, one certifier said that up to 90% of his business comes from builders. Which is, that makes a lot of sense. If you've got a great network of builders who know you, trust you, work the processes with you before, it's got to be a benefit for their business. It's got to once somebody gets locked in with a particular supplier, um, is there a lot of loyalty? I would imagine that most surveyors would say that there are certainly one or two builders, or at least a network that's constantly feeding them work. And I would assume that those builders are experiencing excellent service, which is why they keep coming back. Certifiers that focus on alts and additions report most business from architects and designers. Yeah, there was a real skew There's a few companies that we've surveyed that really focus on that alts and additions, and they were reporting up to 80% of their business is coming from a variety of architects and designers, but from that particular channel. So even here in class 1 and 10, we've got 10% of work is coming from developers of the people that we've surveyed so far. But of those people, most of them said that yes, the buying decision is being made by the developer. The developer will be the one that engages the building surveyor for their work in the project, but most of the time it will be the builder who is administering and working on a day-to-day basis with the certifier or building surveyor. You'll hear me say certifier a bit because that's just because my building design practice is based in Sydney and in New South Wales, and I'm a registered design practitioner. I've spent a lot of most of my work has been focused on in the class 2 space. So you'll often hear me say certifier, but I'm aware that in other states that is not true. Class 2 to 9, here we go. We see a bit of a reversal here. Developers go from a very small piece of the pie to quite a large piece of the pie. And I think that anyone who has any experience of 2 through 9 in the commercial space, the developers make the bulk of commercial certification buying decisions. Again, we haven't drilled down with the people that we've surveyed about, okay, well, like, yes, the developer is making that buying decision, but are they actually working with you? ApprovIQ cares about this stuff because we need to build software that gives you the best opportunity, building surveyors, to service your clients well. Okay, so yes, the developer might be making the buying decision. Okay, so they've got you on board, but it's really about working with that person who's going to be working that process, which, as we know, can take multiple months, lots of back and forth, incredibly complex applications, especially in New South Wales. With the Design and Build Practitioners Act, the Class 2 space, or all the classes that apply to Design and Build Practitioners Act, the amount of documentation that now has to align is quite massive. So, in talking to when we're having conversations with companies that work in this space, I've said certifiers there, but I also mean building surveyors. Uh, they often operate multi-state, which I think would be quite normal. It's not the same volume as one would see in 1 through 10, and the commercial builders and developers, I would suggest, too, are also looking at opportunities in other states. They're not restricting themselves to one state, despite their familiarity with working in that state. Interestingly, one certifier reported that over 80% of their work is government. So that the 5%, was actually made up of a couple of people saying that client-side project managers give them a little bit of work. And then there was one company, actually, I think there was two companies, that one of them said that 80% of their work is government, and another one had a small part of their work is coming from governments. But it'll probably be no surprise to anyone that particular company is based in the ACT. So that's, we continue to see the builders in there. I think that a builder, especially, we see it quite a lot when a builder picks up they'll most often be in charge of the CC documentation. They'll be in charge of a lot of those processes. So the builder comes in, once engaged by the developer, the builder does quite often make the same buying decision. So that's really the one consistent thing that's between all classes, essentially, is that I think that the builders are making a lot of the buying decisions, but I think they're also doing a lot of the administration of these applications. So that's it for now. Thanks for coming along.